There is an industrial design, there is a product design, and then there's a UX UI design. So these are the three basic fields. Am I interested in actually designing digitally?
Yeah.
Or am I interested in actually making a product physically?
The manufacturing sector in India is picking up at an exponential growth.
I have the sketching skills also, which is
Okay.
another very important aspect to product design.
Yeah. Have you ever wondered why is it so simple to use Amazon Music, Uber, Google Maps and those products? It is a product designer's mindset which is behind it. It is their brainchild. It is their meticulous work, willing to fail, and curiosity that makes such amazing products that millions of users use. Today, we have a product designer with us, Twisha Mehta, who is into a very interesting field of product design, which is gaming.
Yeah.
So today we'll talk about what is product design all about? What are all these 18,000 jobs today in the Indian marketplace related to product design? There are several myths related to a product designer being also a UX designer and an industrial designer. Let's debunk all of this today with Twisha. Hello Twisha, welcome
Hi,
to Reflections.
Thank you so much for having me here.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So Twisha, tell us something that what made you take up product design as a career?
So basically, after my education, like school education, back in the day there was a huge like a mixed mindset as to what kind of career should you take? Should
Right.
you go into finance, medicine, or if you're taking arts, then it was like really focused to graphic design.
Okay.
Nobody had heard of product design as a field. When you go to a design college, right, you need to give an exam.
Okay.
Pre-hand, you need to prepare yourself as to, it's not similar to those intermediate elementary exams that you give
Okay.
back in our day. It's more of, they'll give you like a certain kind of questions and stuff where you have to prepare your design mindset into a way that, you know, I need to get it right in my creative way, which will actually communicate to the person who's, you know, grading me and passing me in the exam.
Right.
So we had gone to Raffles Design Institute,
Right.
which at the time was placed in Santa Cruz, because I was a 15-year-old girl, where I had taken that risk in my life where I chose not to do those college years, which every youngster is excited about after their
Okay.
school life.
Wow.
So I kind of skipped that, and then I went on to giving myself that opportunity where, you know, let's just give it a try as to the entire product design field, because it was very new in the market. Nobody knew, so I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have anybody to go and ask that, you know, is this the correct field? Is this a safe field?
Was product design popular outside of India?
It
Did
was.
your research include
It was.
product design
Actually,
field
it
outside
was.
of India? Okay.
Yeah, it was. Like back, if you see countries like Denmark or any Swedish countries or German countries, they have a really rich culture about design where it comes to car design. Germany is really good for car design.
Automobiles, yes.
Correct. Then you have Denmark, the entire birthplace of
Lego, yes,
Lego.
it's Denmark. Yes,
So,
it's all design driven.
Exactly. So when you look at these products, there is somebody behind the curtain who is actually designing it. So even London as a country is quite design rich, I would say.
Got it.
So
So it's do you think the differences between the countries which are more design oriented compared to India, which is more service oriented? So we had at that phase of time, we had more of BPOs and process outsourcing and service outsourcing, but not really product development as such, physical or digital at the same time. Wow, so that's great. So how would you say a product designer is different to a UX designer or an industrial designer?
yeah, see, this is a very common mistake that Indians have, but I think currently with time they are educating themselves where the difference is there between a product designer and a UX UI designer. So like I'll just give a very quick summary where there is an industrial design, there is a product design, and then there's a UX UI design, right? So these are the three basic fields that are there in a product, when you are designing a product, you come across these three terms.
So they overlap with each other?
They do.
So product designer also needs to understand UX designing, but a UX designer may not be a product designer. Is that the right case?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a product, if you look at this mug right now, I am going to think about all the factors like aesthetic, how is it going to be made, the materials that are going to be used in it, the functionality of it. That all these factors come under product design. But for a UX UI designer, if you are opening a Ola Uber app, right, let's say, all your interface from you actually putting your location, then when you put the location, it opens to another page where it's connecting you to the driver. Those frames, the entire interface sums up to UX UI design. So it is a very digital version of a product design. But now the problem is that the digital designers have claimed themselves to be product designers.
So is it that digital design, so some product may have a digital aspect to it and a physical aspect to it.
Yeah.
But not all products have it.
No.
So is a digital designer also a product designer?
In today's term, yes.
Yes, okay.
Because
of the expansion on the digitization of every service and product. Right. But even that, I mean, if product designer, if I understand it correct, has to understand the end user mindset and the interaction with the product, that is also applicable to the digital product, right? At the same time.
True. Yeah. I mean, when you're designing something for your customer, you have to be the customer.
You have to be the customer.
For you to understand what the problem is, where are the pinpoints where I need to solve the problem. I cannot just be like, okay, I like this problem, which is why I need to solve it because everyone's doing it. There are certain problems which nobody wants to touch because it's a huge task. Like, it's going to take a very long time to actually come up with a product for it or come up with a genuine solution, be it like physical or digital.
That brings me to a very interesting point that, many a times there is no problem. People don't understand that there is a need for it.
True.
Unless they are presented with an option, they didn't even know that there is a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. True.
So how do product designers tap into those kind of innovations? Because not all innovations are problem statement led.
Yeah.
So is product design also an innovative job role, of course, but needs to tap into an unknown territory? And how does one navigate through that ambiguity?
True. Like, I agree to what you said, that not every problem needs a solution.
Yeah.
True. But sometimes with such a, like, we are in a world right now where trends are changing with a blink of an eye. So it's not just in fashion, but it's also in product.
Yeah.
Where one wouldn't have thought that my house would be completely digitalized at one point of day. So, I mean, it's a very tricky
question. Yes.
It's a very tricky, it's not a tricky question, but it's a very tricky
I'll tell you your examples. You send me these different games that you have designed. Right? It's not that knowledge was not available online.
True.
It's not that those kind of gamification is not available online. But you still went ahead and created or gamified that whole thing and put a physical product in the hand of the user. And that created a different segment of users altogether who don't want to go to a digital version of it, want to play on the physical version of it. Mil raha hai ultimately general knowledge out of it. But it's a different format of general knowledge. I wouldn't say a different format also altogether because the format on paper is there anywhere, right? The general knowledge books are available. This is just a different presentation of that entire thing. So I think product designers are where this kind of innovation to tap into the
it's always
mindset.
I always feel that every person who is in a creative field always needs this one eureka moment.
So this is a very important part what you mentioned, that anybody who wants to take up product design, should they think in the back of their mind, am I creative enough? Have I done any such projects which was unique as compared to what other peers of mine have delivered or so forth? Or because it just comes in spurts of maybe a product designer's inclination should be more towards whether they understand what the end user wants,
Yeah.
and then one fine day they might just have a unique solution to it as compared to,
True.
right? Are we
Yeah,
deriving
yeah.
that
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, interesting, because I have experienced that as
Yeah,
well.
I just feel that anyone who wants to get into the whole field of design, especially product design, I think they need to ask themselves, where am I interested in actually designing digitally,
Yeah.
or am I interested in actually making a product physically?
The manufacturing sector in India is picking up at an exponential growth.
True.
So many things that we want to manufacture and we want to
Yeah.
export. All that is also product design.
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay, so what I'd also like are, you said that you embarked on this journey without going to college.
Yeah.
So product designing does not require any formal graduation to start with. How is the journey like from a qualification point of
So
view?
my personal journey has been where I chose, like I said before, I chose not to do those 2 years of college life, and I decided to do my degree immediately after I graduated
Okay.
from school.
Okay.
But right now the thing is that colleges in India, if anyone's looking to pursue their product design course in India, they do need have the requirements where you need to complete your high school, you need to complete your college, and you need to get a good grade. But when you are pursuing your college, you need to think about as to what kind of field will help me benefit later on if I'm choosing a product design degree. Like for example, NMIMS, which is there in Mumbai, they have now started giving those mini courses of product design itself. So the exposure of product design as a field is coming so much across the youngsters right now, where they have the option to take few classes of product design, see if it is suiting them,
Okay.
but which was not there back in my day.
Okay.
So it's really beneficial for the youth right now. Like I think back in my day it was more about graphic design courses and lot of fashion design courses, but that was it. There was nothing further than those courses.
Correct. Right.
But now I think you have so much in the market. You have like so many different digital courses also.
Yeah.
Like I think now with product design, illustration is also a part of the creative process.
What is
Where-
illustration?
So illustration is basically I am sketching by hand and getting a character to life. So all your comic books that you see, those are illustrations.
Also illustrations on iStock photos and all those are so popular
Exactly,
nowadays.
yeah.
Right? It's a unique concept that you bring
Correct.
on through a graphical way as compared to anything
so
theoretical.
there's another tiff between a graphic designer and an illustrator.
Yes.
So I think all these courses are so much overlapping to each other, where a common man just gets confused that for me, if I was a common man and I'm telling somebody that okay, my son daughter is an illustrator, a person who doesn't have an idea about what the fields are, he or she is just going to have that mindset of like, okay, she's doing graphic design. I think that is a mindset in the society that is now changing slowly, but it's taken a lot of years for this change to come.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, right now there are specific job roles, but still, there is still a
Yeah.
confusion between UX designer and product
True,
designer
absolutely.
as such.
Yeah.
But I think certain industries like automobile and things have a they are very streamlined.
Yeah,
when it
because
comes
the
to
product is
design.
like exactly what you need
What?
to design.
Yes, you need to design.
Product design as a field, like I have spoken to few other people also back in the past, where initially when they used to come and ask me that what do you do or what's your profession, and when I say product design, like there's a big question mark on their face, like I don't know what product design is.
Yeah.
So it's a very simple explanation that you see something, you want to make it either better or you want to come up with a different
version
of it, a different concept of it. If I'm designing a mug, for example, either I can make it better in terms of functionality, the material, like your physical touch and everything, or I can make it in a different form where you have your cookies little kept also. So your functionality is also playing a big part of it.
So any entrepreneur who brings their product to life, is also a product designer.
Yeah,
But
in a way.
had it been they had a product designer, then they would have had a much better product.
Correct.
Is what we are trying
Any
to say.
day.
Because what product designers bring to table
Yeah,
is their holistic understanding
true.
of aesthetics, to the look and feel, to the
Yeah.
interaction,
Absolutely.
to the material used, to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
components that are a part of it, to the usability, to the innovation, to
Yeah.
how it is different from other in the marketplace,
Absolutely.
and so forth, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we are coming to terms with understanding what a
Yeah.
product designer ultimately is.
Yeah.
You've worked in some companies as well.
Yeah, I
right?
did.
So, when they hire other product designers, do you feel the company itself has an idea of what they are hiring for and what they are doing?
Yeah, I mean, most of the when I was hired back in the day, I was hired by product designer itself.
Okay.
So usually, what companies do is that if I want to hire a designer, the company should have somebody who has a understanding of what a designer is.
Correct.
Because right now, if I'm hiring somebody to do my work, I will ask them for a resume, which is very common, but also a portfolio that is
Got
showcasing
it.
all their projects. So
Got it.
I'm not asking you to send me a 35-page long PDF. It can be literally just a 5-page or 10-page PDF, but it is combining of everything that you want to show me. That these are my skills. This is where these are my strongest points. These are my projects. So portfolio, how it helps is that it shows your strongest points. Then it also shows that how are you communicating your idea, because
Got
I'm not
it.
physically there with you.
Right.
So you are communicating your idea or your project, whatever you want to sell me, via this 10-page PDF. So I think companies, coming back to your point, where companies right now have a lot of designers in their team,
Yeah.
so that one thing is that they are not fooled by the person who wants to get hired,
Correct.
and they are not wasting their time and energy to actually hire somebody who's not fit for the role.
So a portfolio is a good appendix
It is absolutely
to the resume,
Absolutely.
because it brings to life
Absolutely.
in a way,
Yeah.
as to what you have done before,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
also tells the
absolutely.
other person, okay, this was your idea or the background thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
But portfolio one can build when somebody has body of work.
Yeah.
But those who don't have a body of work, what I read between the lines is you said these short courses
Yeah.
that are offered will also offer you practical experiences, certain internships.
I doubt, because to get yourself an internship, you need to have a very strong understanding of these skill set that you need.
But then how does one learn that skill set? Like going back,
Yeah.
backward more and more. I want to be a product designer. Today I'm a 20-year-old person,
Yeah.
right? I did my BA, for example. I just chose art because design was something that I always
Yeah.
liked. But now I want to enter into product designing. Now you said there are courses which are available on short term, as well as you can do your masters also
Yeah.
at the same time. So I don't have the funds for being in the master's course. So short term courses will not give me exposure to
It will not give you that
projects. Yeah.
Exactly, because that's why I was talking to a friend the other day, that my problem right now is that these short courses are there. Good that they are there right
Yeah.
now to help everybody, but the main problem that I feel is that one does the short course. I will do a short course, for example, gaining experience in a software skill, learning a software. I'm done with that. But when I'm actually applying for a job, for an internship, the company is asking for your portfolio. Those projects, where will you have those projects to put in the portfolio?
Yeah, how do we close the loop?
Exactly. So for that, I feel you need to have a proper education. And if not education, people who cannot reach out to a proper
those who
education,
cannot do a master's or a bachelor's in design. Yeah.
That's where you need to find a problem yourself. So if I was a person where I did not have the funds to get a proper master course in a good university, I have the software skills. I have the sketching skills also, which is another very important aspect to product design.
Yeah.
I will literally, it's like a very default mechanism where when you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
For me, it's that. I need to sketch. Anything I need to do, I need to sketch. You never know when you have that eureka moment.
Yeah, so every time you are thinking of a design in your head, that needs to translate onto a paper.
Correct.
Because that's what will tell you whether
Yeah.
your thought process is in the right direction or not.
Correct.
Then you can tear that paper, every new day have another paper,
Correct.
until you reach that moment where you
Yeah.
feel that this is going to work.
True.
So one can have, if you have a passion for designing something, you can find a problem statement,
Yeah,
start designing
exactly.
something, have a live product.
Like right now, because you have so much exposure to online projects,
Correct.
right? You can literally have n number of references that how you want to make your portfolio. Like you have people who have had like a good education background and I have uploaded their portfolios on websites like Behance, where it's a free website.
Sorry, which one?
Behance.
Behance.
Yeah.
Behance.
HANCE.
Behance.
.com. So that website is free.
Okay.
You just basically select your category, that is industrial design or product design, and you have n number of portfolios. Like you have portfolios that are really bad to amazing portfolios as well. But it's a very good reference point
Yeah.
for a person who doesn't have that education, background where he or
Understood.
she can actually go and do something.
Right.
But other than that, it's up to the person. It's that urge where you really want to do it. That's I think it's the nail and hammer in this entire course.
I think every profession, is whoever I'm talking to,
Yeah.
the passion that is behind it, and to test yourself.
Yeah.
So that you know what is your number one strength.
True.
To align yourself to make sure that yes, you want to pursue this as your career.
Yeah.
Because what you said about sketching, I would fail. I would fail dramatically.
The trick. That's the trick where when I was studying back in Raffles, I remember my professor, I was really, really bad at sketching.
Right.
Like I thought I did like a amazing piece.
Oh wow, so you were not good at sketching.
I was not good at sketching.
Okay.
I had this really big push from my professor and he was from Argentina back then. So he had told me, and I think this has stuck with me till date, where you do one thing, you do it for like 360 times. It's a example number. You do it for like 360 times and then you see. If you still don't like it, that means you are not enjoying it.
So that brings me to another point there, that we said yes, companies like a portfolio.
Yeah.
Companies derive your communication skills out of it, and they see all your other skills like sketching and user interaction, user behavior that you have done out of it. How would you say that, what is a ladder for somebody? Like they've taken a job in a company, fair enough, but what next can they do as a product designer? Like, have you seen people pivot their direction from product designer to completely something different, or there is a good roadmap to scaling yourself up in this field?
I mean, it really depends from person to person.
Of course, yeah.
Where like I know people who have actually purely they are stuck to product design where it comes to actually building it.
Okay.
Building the product.
Okay.
They are hell-bound stuck to it, like this is what I like, this is what I'm going to do. No matter how much digitally the society is developing, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to make it sure that what I'm doing, it's going to be the best. Like it's going to be parallelly with the whole digital world that's going.
Wow.
Where there are other people where they have taken the entire product design in their college years and they have completely shifted to something different.
Okay.
In design itself, but
Yeah.
something very different. Like there's a course called service design. It's again very it's coming up, but it's not quite heard of.
Good.
So then there is another course of like UX UI, for example. People are shifting there because they think that okay, this is a good opportunity. Everything is getting digitalized.
Yeah.
So might as well I'll make good money out of this
Yeah.
because I'm working. So it will be good money for me.
Yeah, why not? I mean, as trends change, you've got to
Correct.
change yourself
True,
as well in the
true.
same space. Who is your inspiration, Trisha, in product design field? Who should we look up to? I'd love to research about that person.
I've been asked this question before.
Yeah.
My inspiration is no one.
No one? Okay.
No one. Because
Okay.
since I started my journey in design, I don't think that one should have this role model. You should be the person it's my belief where you should be the person where you are inspired by everybody. Where you are inspired by a homemaker, you are inspired by a person who's selling tea downstairs, like your chai tapri. You are inspired by all of these people.
So you learn from there's things to learn from everyone.
Absolutely.
Especially in the design phase, everyone
like
is doing it in their own way.
You learn from a literally 6-year-old child.
Yeah,
You learn
they
from
are bursting with
everybody.
ideas. Trust me, they are bursting with
exactly.
ideas.
So I don't have a role model. I've never kept a role model for myself.
But what would you say is your superpower as a product designer? What would what is it that when you sit in front and when you change a job or something of that sort, that makes the opposite person, the interviewer, feels like, yes, this is the person that I wanted, because that's your superpower. Nobody beats you in that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very basic answer where if I put myself to make a game or something,
Yeah.
for example, I will go full in. Then there is no like back and forth that acha mujhe nahi karna hai or I want to do it, I think I should do it. So I think that hard work and that urge to actually prove myself and to get the product out, I think that's my superpower.
So completing the cycle.
Completely,
from
but
ideation
also,
to
yeah,
delivery.
but also having fun, making the consumer have fun.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
So-
Tell me more about it. How do you make the consumers have fun as a part of the cycle?
So in product design, the major one of the major cycle is to test. So any product that I'm making, it's very important that I test the product with the consumer.
Right.
So I get the valuable feedback where then I can implement it on my design and make it more better. So when it's actually out in the market, other consumers who I have not even spoken to,
Right.
don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
They just love using the product. So
So you do like blind testing and those
I
kind of
do.
Wow.
Big
Okay,
time.
so you're like behind and you are just seeing
Yeah, I love
how
it.
people use it. How many
yeah.
times have you seen a success rate there? Like how many out of 10 testings, example,
Yeah.
that you've done as a blind?
Yeah.
How many times have your products kind of gotten a 5 on 5? How many times have you gotten like 2 on 5 or something?
There have been at times.
There have been?
Yeah, but I think the main part that I enjoy about testing is actually being behind the scenes and making, like, just observing how your consumer is reacting without them knowing that they are being observed.
Correct.
Because when I know that I'm not being observed, I'm just going to look at this mug and I'm just going to like,
Yeah.
I don't like it. Like,
Yeah.
what is this color?
Yeah.
We all have that expressions when we go out to shop, But so those factors is very important. Like, if someone's making that face,
Yeah.
why is the person making the face?
Got it. So even he may give you an overall 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
But when he was at this point,
Correct.
he did make a face which you thought that this is a difficulty of usability or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that you have
Correct.
specifically picked
Yeah.
up on. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Great. So what would you say a young aspiring person who is thinking in their mind, should I do UX designing? Should I do graphic designing? Should I step into an expensive product design course? Should I kind of look at something more than design? What is the scope of product design in India going forward?
I think the scope's really huge.
Really huge. You are
It's
very
really
optimistic
huge.
about it.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
really huge with the entire startup culture that is progressing so much in India right now, especially in the big cities,
Yeah.
where every second person is doing a startup or planning to do a startup. But if someone wants to get into product design, I would say that they need to literally sit down, isolate yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've done. Like, you isolate yourself,
Yeah.
you sit down, you actually write like product design, industrial design, graphic, UX, UI. You just write down all the fields. Then you see that which one is actually interesting you.
But how do you identify that? You write as to what that particular role entails?
No, you just write the name. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I did, where
Yeah.
I just wrote the name of the courses, and you you take those 3 deep breaths,
Yes.
and then you just open your eyes, and then you be like, okay, this
Yeah.
is something that it's coming. I mean, it comes from within.
Yeah, of course, but your background, you know the background of each
True.
of this role, and then you feel, okay, this is where I want to be.
Correct.
Experiment it, see, get feedback,
Correct.
understand, build your body of work in a way.
And maybe even if like there are these design workshops that happen, one might just put yourself there. You
Wow.
go
okay.
there, you talk to people, ask them about their experiences, because when you actually talk to designers, you get to know that okay, maybe product design is really not my thing, or I'm more interested in UX UI based on the experience or the talks that I had with this X person. So I think you need that exposure. You cannot just sit in one room and be like, "Acha, mujhe yahi karna hai."
This is a very interesting point. So, young girls and boys, there are a lot of avenues now. Go out, talk to the product designers that are there, connect with them on LinkedIn. Go to these product design sessions which are available. How do we find out this product
So
design
there is
sessions?
this website, like it's a community called Young Designers India.
Young Designers India.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they started this during the lockdown where they have these design meetups. I think they've now stretched it to all across the world.
Oh wow.
So it's all different kind of designers, and they're mainly product and industrial designers.
Fantastic.
So it's the entire community that is coming together in different cities, different locations, and talking, just interaction.
Young Designers India.
Yeah.
So you get a worldwide community, not just India. Talk to them, see how their day-to-day life is in this role. Ask them what is the most challenging part of this role. Ask them what is their strength that they are using in order to be successful in this role. Ask them a lot of whys, whats, hows, and what is the ladder to go on this journey. Inquire, and that's the right way to come on the ladder of being a product designer, which is a very diverse field applicable to a lot of industries. For you to know where your skills are correctly being fitted, for you to know which industry would suit you best, for you to know whether you want to fluctuate between a digital design, a physical product design, an industrial design, or everything. I think you may have the basic skills of sketching and understanding the problem statement or innovating on behalf of the user, but you still got to understand what the role entails. And that is only possible through interaction with a lot of these individuals who will also give you projects. Because without projects, to build a body of work and a portfolio, to present yourself along with your resume is not going to be that easy. A portfolio along with your resume is your gateway into any company to get a job, and is also a gateway for you to get any projects on a freelance basis. So Twisha has given us some fantastic insights. Twisha is very happy to mentor any of you aspiring product designers.
Absolutely.
Yes, she's done that, been there. She has her own company called as Kapi Designs, and she is very well versed with the community to put you across different individuals who can train you, mentor you at every ladder of your career. So Twisha, thank you for being on Reflections.
Thank you so much for having me.
I have learned so much today from you, and the crossover of so many different roles that I had in my mind during my research is pretty much clear now. And I think we have also told our young aspirants and those who want to come on our ladder that today the opportunities are plenty. You started when there was nothing. Now we have so much.
True.
So expose yourself, give it a try, nothing to lose. But what you will only learn is something in an industry, in a field which is going to boom in India. It is booming, but the scope the scope is large in the next 15 years.
True.
Thank you,
Thank
Twisha.
you so much
it's a pleasure
to
to chat with you. Thank you.
So much.
Take care.